I told my mom I was hiding $30 million in her safe. The next morning, she vanished with it. But I laughed because what she really stole was the thing that would destroy her. My name is Ariana Blake, and I'm 27 years old. Most people think I'm lucky. I'm young, rich, and smart. But I don't feel lucky. Not really. Because I grew up with a mother who didn't love me. She hurt me more with her words than with her hands. And she hit a lot. When I was little, I used to cry myself to sleep. My mom would say things like, "You'll never be anything. No man will ever want you. Your daddy left because you were born." And I believed her. My father left when I was 2. I don't remember his face, just his name, Malcolm Blake. He never called, never wrote, just disappeared. My mom said he was a criminal and that I was just like him. She never hugged me, never told me she was proud, only yelled, threw things, sometimes locked me in my room without food. But I had something she didn't know. I had a secret. I was smart, like really smart. While she was out drinking or yelling at boyfriends, I stayed home reading. I taught myself how to fix computers when I was 10. By 12, I was learning how to code. I never told her. She would have just laughed and said, "Girls don't build things. Girls get used." But I didn't want to be used. I wanted to escape. So I worked, quietly, secretly. I got scholarships, moved out at 18, and I never looked back. I started a tech business with just a broken laptop and free Wi-Fi from the public library. I lived in my car for 3 months, ate noodles every day, but I didn't give up. And then I made it. At 24, I sold my first app. At 25, I launched a cybersecurity firm. At 27, I sold it for $50 million. Everyone cheered. The news wrote stories about me, the girl genius who built a tech empire. But one person didn't call, didn't text, didn't say anything. My mom. Until 3 months later. She showed up at my new office, uninvited, wearing expensive clothes, hair done, nails fresh, like she was someone's rich aunt. She smiled wide and said, "I always knew you'd make me proud, baby." I wanted to scream. Proud? This woman once told me I'd end up cleaning toilets. But I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I smiled too, because at that moment, I had a plan. See, I wasn't just rich now. I was ready. I had spent years healing, yes, but part of me still burned. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed justice. My mom had done so many bad things to me, to others, even to people who trusted her with money. She used fake names, opened secret accounts, lied to charities, and I had proof. I had tracked her accounts for years, watched her steal from people, including my grandma's will. But no one believed me when I was a kid, because no one listens to a sad little girl with bruises and bad grades. So I grew up, got rich, got smart, and built a trap. It started with a hug. I hugged her outside my office and said, "I want us to start fresh, Mom." She smiled, thought she won, but she didn't know she just walked into a spider's web. That night I called her and said I had a favor. I told her I needed a safe place to hide something very important. "What kind of important?" she asked. I paused, let the silence grow. Then I whispered, $30 million in cash. She gasped, then laughed nervously. You trust me with that?" I smiled into the phone. "Of course, Mom." The next day, I went to her house. It was the same house I grew up in, same broken mailbox, same cracked driveway, but it felt different now, like I was in control. I brought a huge titanium safe, the kind banks use. I drilled it into the basement floor myself. She watched, pretending not to care, but her eyes were glued to every move I made. I placed a big black briefcase inside, locked it, then turned to her and said, "If anything ever happens to me, this money is yours. But please don't open it. Don't tell anyone. Not yet." She nodded fast, too fast. Her eyes were shiny, like dollar signs. I hugged her again before I left. She squeezed me tight like she was already rich. And I knew what would happen next. The trap was set, and all I had to do was wait. That night, I barely slept. Not because I was scared, but because I was curious. Would she take the bait? Would she really steal from her own daughter? Yes, I knew she would, because my mother loved one thing more than anything else in the world: money. She didn't love me, not really. She loved what I could give her. When I was younger, she used to take my birthday money. She'd say things like, "I'm keeping it safe for you." But it would always vanish the next day. One time, I saved up for new school shoes. I was so proud. I had cleaned people's cars for 2 weeks to get the money. I left the envelope on the table for just 5 minutes. When I came back, it was gone. She said I must have lost it. But I saw the same amount in her purse the next morning. So no, I wasn't scared she might steal the safe. I was waiting for her to do it. The next day, she called me. "Hey, baby, just checking in," she said sweetly. "Is everything okay? You didn't tell anyone about the money, did you?" I smiled. Hooked. "No, Mom, just you. You're the only one I trust." She laughed too hard. "Of course, baby, of course you can trust me." Her voice made my skin crawl, but I kept the act going. "I'll be back next week to check on the safe," I told her. "But remember, don't open it. It has a timed lock. It'll destroy everything inside if you try." That part was a lie. There was no timed lock, but there was a GPS tracker, hidden under the briefcase handle. There was also a camera inside the safe, the kind that activates when someone opens it. I had prepared all of it, carefully, quietly. This wasn't a prank. This was evidence. Because I wasn't just going to catch her stealing. I was going to expose everything she'd ever done. Fraud, lies, the money she took from Grandma's will, the fake charity account she ran to scam old people, even the house she lived in, bought with stolen funds. I had screenshots, bank records, recordings, and now, soon, I would have her on video stealing from me. 2 days passed. No calls, no messages. Then early one morning, I woke up to a strange silence. My phone had no missed calls, no texts, nothing from her. So I checked the tracker. Offline. The safe had been moved. The camera feed was cut. My chest tightened, not from fear, but from excitement. It happened. I drove straight to her house. The front door was wide open. The living room was a mess. Couch cushions gone, drawers pulled out, pictures missing. The basement, empty. The safe was gone. She had even removed the bolts from the floor. Only dust and a square outline were left where it used to be. I stood there, hands in my pockets, and I laughed, not loudly, not crazily, just a quiet, knowing laugh, because she thought she had won. But really, she had just stepped into the final part of the trap. I went back to my car and opened my laptop. Even though the tracker was offline, I had something better. The GPS device had a backup memory chip. It stored the last known location before the signal went dead. I opened the file and smiled. She was headed toward the airport. She must have turned the tracker off when she boarded a plane. Smart, but not smart enough. She thought I was just a soft little girl with money and mommy issues. She had no idea I'd been watching her for years. Let me take you back. 3 years ago, I found a hidden file on Grandma's old computer. It was a list of bank account numbers, passwords, and notes written by hand. Grandma had been suspicious of my mom for a long time. She kept records of every dollar that went missing, even called a lawyer once, but somehow that lawyer disappeared. No records, no trail. So I started digging. And what I found? My mom had been stealing money for over 15 years. Fake charities, double mortgages, ghost donors. She would open accounts using fake names, move the money, then close the accounts fast. But I saved everything. Every screenshot, every password, every email. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet, because I wanted to catch her red-handed, with something she couldn't talk her way out of. That's why I built the safe. That's why I told her about the $30 million. That's why I hugged her even when it made my skin crawl. I wanted her to steal it. Because when she did, I would finally be free. Not just rich, not just famous. Free. I checked her bank accounts, the ones under her real name, then the fake ones I had traced before. Sure enough, she was already moving money again, sending small amounts to banks overseas. She was preparing to disappear. New name, new passport, probably some tropical island with no rules and no questions. But I had one more card to play. I called an old friend from school, Jacob. He worked in cybersecurity law now. I sent him everything. The documents, the camera footage, the fake passports, the GPS logs, even her voice from our phone calls. He read it all, then texted me back. You got her. Let's bring her down. I sat on my couch with the curtains closed, my laptop open, and my phone on silent. I didn't want noise. I didn't want music. I wanted quiet. Because this was the moment I had waited for all my life. The moment she thought she had won, and the moment I knew she had just lost everything. I opened the backup video feed from the camera I had hidden inside the safe. It had stopped streaming when she cut the power, but it still saved the footage. My hands shook a little as I clicked play. There she was. My mother, wearing gloves, breathing heavy, eyes wild. She knelt in front of the safe and typed the code I had shown her days before. The green light blinked. The door opened. And she didn't even hesitate. She pulled out the briefcase like it was treasure from a sunken ship. Then she opened it. I paused the video right there because I knew what came next. Inside that briefcase wasn't cash. Not real cash, anyway. It was prop money. Fake bills used for movies. Looked real from a distance, even up close, but worthless. And under the first stack of fake hundreds, a thick black USB drive. Inside that USB was everything. Screenshots of her secret bank transfers, copies of Grandma's stolen will, photos of fake IDs, email threads where she lied to donors, voice recordings where she bragged about fooling the system, and, taped to the bottom of the briefcase, a tiny tracking chip, one she didn't see. It told me She had flown to Morocco with it. She had changed her name to Linda Hale, bought a fake passport, even booked a room in a luxury hotel by the beach. She thought she was starting a new life. But what she really did? Delivered the evidence of her own crimes straight into her hotel room. My phone buzzed. It was Jacob, the cybersecurity lawyer I had sent everything to. FBI is in. They're working with Interpol. She's officially wanted in 3 countries now. I read the message twice, then read it again. It didn't feel real, but it was. She was now the hunted. I closed my laptop and leaned back. My whole body felt light, like a rope around my chest had finally been untied. All those years she made me feel small. All those times she told me I was nothing, no one, a mistake. Now, the whole world would know the truth. She wasn't a proud mother. She was a polished thief. And I had caught her with her own hands on the lock. But even with all that proof, part of me still hurt. I mean, who sets up their own mother like that? What kind of daughter does that? But then I remembered I wasn't just her daughter. I was her survivor. Let me tell you something I never told anyone before. When I was 13, I got accepted into a school coding competition. It was statewide, a big deal. I was so excited, I printed the letter and ran home with it. When I showed it to her, she didn't even look up from her drink. "What is this nerd stuff?" she said. "You think anyone cares about that?" I told her I needed a ride to the event. She laughed in my face. "I'm not driving you anywhere. You'll just embarrass yourself." I went to my room and cried into my pillow. The next morning, the letter was gone. She had thrown it away. I missed the competition. And that day, I promised myself something. One day, I will succeed so loudly the whole world will hear me, even if she never listens. And now here I was, with $50 million in the bank, my own company sold, and the woman who crushed me running from the law. The media didn't know yet, but I knew once the arrest happened, it would be everywhere. She was too flashy, too greedy. And once she tried to access the safe deposit box she had in the Casablanca branch of Atlantic Global Bank, boom, the trap would close. We had already contacted the bank. FBI had issued a freeze. Interpol was on alert. Her name, her face, her fingerprints, everything was in the system now. I spent the rest of the day walking around the city. No bodyguards, no disguise. I didn't need to hide. She was the one who had to run. Every time I looked at my reflection in shop windows, I didn't see the scared girl from before. I saw someone strong, someone calm, someone dangerous, but only when pushed. Later that night, Jacob called again. "Ariana," he said. "They have eyes on her. She's at the hotel. She's planning to fly again tomorrow." Let them follow. Let her think she's safe. Because the longer she thought she was free, the sweeter the fall would feel. The morning sun lit up my bedroom, but I didn't feel warm. I felt cold, focused, ready. Today might be the day she finally gets caught. I made a cup of tea, but I didn't drink it. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. I was done being scared of her. Now she had to fear me. I sat down at my laptop and opened the folder named Operation Mother. That's what I called it. Inside were videos from the safe's camera, her voice recordings from our phone calls, GPS maps of her escape route, screenshots of every bank account I had traced back to her. I clicked open the last update from Jacob. Interpol has her hotel under surveillance. She's booked a flight to Dubai for 3 p.m. today. She doesn't know she's being watched. I nodded to myself. Of course she didn't know. She thought she was too smart. She always thought she was untouchable. Back when I was little, she'd scream at people and smile afterward like nothing happened. She told lies with the confidence of a queen. She believed her charm could fix anything. But charm doesn't work when you're running from international police. Around 10 a.m., I got an alert. She used one of her fake accounts, moved $15,000 to a new name, Diana Flores, probably for a new passport. She was trying to disappear again. I closed my eyes and remembered something. I was 10 years old. I had just won my school spelling bee. I got a tiny trophy and a box of chocolates. When I showed it to her, she rolled her eyes. You think a trophy makes you special? You want praise for spelling words? Try paying rent. Then she took the chocolate box. Didn't even say thank you. She gave the chocolates to a boyfriend later that night. I heard her laugh and say, "My kid got this. What a waste." That memory used to make me cry. But now, it just reminded me of why I started this. She didn't just take money. She took moments. Moments that were supposed to feel good. Proud, safe, happy, and twisted them into pain. Around noon, Jacob messaged me again. She's packing her bags. She looks calm, smiling at the staff. Thinks she's free. I smiled because that's what made this even better. She didn't know this was the end. I opened the file labeled Final Straw. Inside was the recording that broke me, that pushed me to finally go all in. It was a voicemail from my grandma, the woman who had tried to protect me when I was a child. "Ariana, sweetie, I know you're busy, but I need to talk. Your mom, she's taking money from my accounts. I didn't want to believe it, but I checked the numbers. Please help me look into it, okay? I trust you." I never got that message until 2 weeks after Grandma died. My mom had deleted it from my phone, but I recovered it from the cloud. That was the day I stopped trying to forgive her. That was the day I built the first folder. At 1:45 p.m., Jacob called me. "She's in a taxi to the airport. Agents are on her tail. They'll make the arrest there. Want to watch the live feed?" I didn't even answer. I just opened the stream. The camera showed the Casablanca airport. Busy, noisy, people dragging suitcases, hugging loved ones, rushing toward gates. Then I saw her, wearing sunglasses, a tan coat, and a fake smile. She looked like someone on vacation. She walked up to the gate like she had no worries. But behind her, 2 agents. Quiet, calm, focused. They waited until she handed over her fake passport. The moment the scanner beeped red, everything changed. The agents stepped forward. One showed a badge. The other put a hand on her shoulder. She looked confused, tried to laugh. "There must be a mistake," she said. But there wasn't. She was caught. Right there in front of 100 people. I watched as she started yelling, pointing at the agents, saying it was a joke, a setup. But it didn't matter. They took her phone, her purse, her suitcase. She kept screaming, "Call my daughter. She'll tell you this is all fake." I leaned closer to the screen. "I am the reason you're here," I whispered. That night, the news broke. American woman caught in $2 million fraud scheme. Her own daughter set the trap. Pictures of her face were everywhere. Her mugshot, her aliases, her accounts, and next to her photo, mine. Ariana Blake, the tech CEO who brought down her own mother. I didn't post online. I didn't say anything. I just sat on my bed, phone off, heart calm. And I cried. Not because I was sad, not because I missed her, but because I had finally let go. The little girl inside me who used to beg for love was finally quiet. The morning after her arrest, I woke up before the sun. The world was quiet. No noise, no messages, just peace. I sat on my balcony, wrapped in a soft blanket, holding a warm cup of tea. For the first time in years, I felt something strange. Safe. No yelling, no footsteps, no keys shaking in the door, no fear. She was gone. I turned on the news. They were still talking about her. $1 million mom arrested in Morocco. Daughter outsmarts con artist mother. Luxury life funded by fraud comes to an end. There were old photos of her smiling with fake friends, leaning on expensive cars she didn't own, lying like it was a game. And there were pictures of me too. I didn't want the fame, but I knew the story needed to be told. Because girls like me, we don't usually get heard. We cry in silence. We hide our bruises. We forgive too much. And we grow up thinking it's all our fault. But not anymore. A week later, I got a letter in the mail. It was from the prison. From her. Just one page. Folded neatly. No "Dear Ariana," no "I'm sorry." Just one line. "You always thought you were better than me. You'll end up just like your father." I stared at it for a long time. Then I lit a match and watched it burn. Because she was wrong. I wasn't like my father. I wasn't like her. I was like me. I went back to work quietly. The media moved on, chasing newer stories. The world forgot fast. But I didn't forget. Not the pain. Not the lessons. Not the little girl I used to be. She still lived in me. She was the one who pushed me to study when I was tired. The one who whispered, "Don't give up," when I wanted to quit. The one who dreamed of building something that no one could destroy. She was the one who kept me alive. So I did something for her. I opened a foundation, the Safe Girl Fund. A place where girls from broken homes can learn coding, design, finance. A place with free food, free laptops, and teachers who listen. No one yells there. No one hits. No one steals dreams. And every time I visit, I smile because I see her, that scared little girl who thought she was alone. Now, she's not. People still ask me, "Do you hate your mom?" And I say, "No, I don't." Because hate is heavy. It eats you from the inside. I don't want to carry her anymore. She already took so much from me. But now, she doesn't get to take anything else. Sometimes I walk by my old neighborhood. The house is still there. Same broken mailbox, same cracked driveway, but the windows are empty. No laughter, no screams, just silence. I stand there for a moment, then I walk away, because I don't belong in that house anymore. I built a new one, a brighter one, with tall windows and soft couches and laughter that feels real. The last time I saw her was on a screen, in court. She wore a gray jumpsuit and had her hair tied back. No makeup, no lies, just the truth. She didn't speak. She just looked at me, but I didn't look away because I wasn't afraid anymore. She wasn't bigger than me. She wasn't stronger than me. She was just a woman who got caught, and I was the woman who caught her. After the trial, the judge said something I'll never forget. "You showed remarkable strength, Miss Blake, not just in gathering evidence, but in keeping your heart steady when it would have been easier to be cruel." I didn't know what to say, but now I do. I would tell him this: I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace, and I had to walk through fire to find it. Now I live a simple life. I still build things, apps, security tools, programs that protect people, but I don't chase success like I used to. Now I chase healing. I chase quiet mornings, real friendships, trust, because I've learned something. The best kind of success is being the person your younger self needed. So if you're listening to this and you've been hurt, lied to, left behind, if someone told you you're worthless, I'm here to tell you they were wrong. You're not weak, you're not broken, and you're not alone. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting free.